That's why you like ants more than a bug's life, because they say damn a couple times. You're like, oh, this is adult.
I love pee. And speaking of a bug's life.
Oh no.
Episode over! Where's Bug's Life, comma,
I didn't even know you had this. I promise I wasn't looking for that segue, but let's do it. It's not as good as Ants, though, and it had Kevin Spacey in it, so, you know.
Is there an Ants game, or are you just thinking of the movie?
I'm talking about the movie. I never played these fucking games.
No wonder you didn't fuck.
Because I wasn't playing a Bug's Life, the N64 game.
Yeah.
A Bug's Life got me so much pussy when I was 8. You have no idea.
Yeah, dude. My first 69 was while playing. We both played a Bug's.
We had to move out of town.
Oh my god, Traveler's Tales.
Eric got so happy.
Alex, do you know what you're in store for when you see
do.
a Traveler's Tales game?
I indeed do. I played Toy Story on the Super Nintendo. You ever play that game?
Yeah. Pissy. Traveler's Tales
Let
games.
me explain this to your plebeian fucking mind.
Traveler's Tales games are—it's almost like if you were to bring yourself to an orgasm via a prostate-stimulating dildo, but that prostate-stimulating dildo is like barbed with like cheese grater blades.
What the fuck?
But it felt so good in the moment that you didn't notice it, but then afterwards you're bleeding and crying for like 2 weeks.
I like how you use this as your metaphor, so I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, like that.
Holy shit.
I can relate.
That's playing a Traveler's Tales games, and I will let you interpret that however you want.
However you're able to.
Anyways, Pissy, go ahead and read this.
Everybody hide.
No, do a voice.
Yeah,
I thought you just said, read this.
Narrate it.
Flick needs to find the entrance to the anthill. There, we're done.
Thanks.
Did you get for throwing me on the spot?
Wow, good
like
job,
that?
I guess.
Fuck you both. Play your Traveler's Tales and shut the fuck up.
You see that? That ant?
I did.
Did you see that?
I mean, you're an ant.
This looks better than Banjo-Kazooie.
Shit, you have emotes?
Where's default dance?
Yeah, you're not.
Yo, let me
flossing.
get that thorax.
Why hasn't he dabbed yet?
What are you throwing? Apples?
Yeah.
Well, no, but what can that thing possibly be throwing? Like, are those just red grains of sand?
Oh yeah, you are an ant.
Yeah. They look like apples.
It made a squish sound. Is that
there's an apple right there and
is
it's
it
huge.
a tomato? This is so confusing.
I'm confused. This is why Ants was better.
Engine.
Wow, they did a lot with the CryEngine back in the day.
Yeah. Oh, out of bounds. Boundary break. Hit me up. I'm recording content for your next
showing
video.
Us barrels or pineapples.
There you go, she says. I'll write the script for you right now. Here, wait. I will write the script for you. Can you guys send me money? Can you send me money? Please send me money. Can you send me money? I need money. Send me money.
Writing the script.
What the fuck?
Let him write the script.
I know. I feel bad because I really like Boundary Break and I really like She Says.
Yeah.
But I recently read upon some drama recently that a lot of people just really don't like him anymore.
No.
All he does is e-begs for money.
Oh, come on.
Because he fails to see that his content is just, it grew stale. Like he was one of those channels that was like every video he made back in the day was like a viral hit.
He went all in on an idea that
can only last so long.
Right.
Like there's only so
Precisely.
many times where it's like, oh, I get it. I get like, you know, unless you come across something insanely mind-blowing, taking the camera out of bounds in a game is only interesting for so long.
Right.
And now because he keeps doing the same thing, but his views are like really, really tanking.
Sure.
He has made several videos now where it's just a video of him talking to the camera saying, I don't make enough money to cover my rent. Can you guys send me money? Here's my Patreon. Here's my Ko-fi. Here's my OnlyFans. Here's my Fans League. Like every single avenue that you could send someone money on. Like here's my Bitcoin address. Here's my here's a PO box.
My Amazon wish list.
Here's my PayPal. Here's my email and password. Here's my debit card with the 3-digit security pin on the back.
Yeah.
Go to an ATM and deposit money with it, please.
Yeah,
Definitely sounds like not the best way to raise money.
And that's probably why he's been showing up on other content creators' channels, because he just needs to become a personality, like a content creator personality now, because that's the only way he's going to continue to make money. Like, he's going to be able to continue to do Boundary Break, but like only to like revisit, or if somebody provides him with updated information, or if a game that was highly desired finally gets tools to break it. Those are the only scenarios in which he's gonna get something that's like people are really gonna want to watch,
Right.
you know.
And like what, and like I said that he was like, I really like him. He seems like one of those people. It's like, oh, you're a genuine person. You're not like just a typical shithead YouTuber. But like almost like what you said, like you need to become a personality. And I know that sucks to say it.
Yeah.
But it's like you need to find some reason for someone to feel the incentive to be like, oh, I need to go check out Boundary Break because I love the way he talks. I love his humor. Like,
Yeah.
But he is a very just like she says, this is the video. We're going out of bounds. That's it.
Yeah.
And there's no hook.
Not a lot of thrill there.
Yeah.
Right. And you could provide that type of, you know, like it's like an informational channel over like an entertainment channel. Like I like to watch those while I'm eating food because it's fun to watch instead of like a let's play necessarily or something like that, you know? But like he's got personality. He's got a character, right? But it's not like one that sort of like resonates. Like, and as like a totally average person, I understand that. But like, if you're gonna commit to like YouTube stuff as he did, like literally full time,
Gotta have a gimmick.
you gotta at least start working on it. At least like try stuff and see what works with people. You know, as far as like your personality goes, find an aspect that people will like about you, and then lean into it.
Yeah. Like for example, like I would only watch a video of his if it was a game that I was really interested in. But I will watch a summoning salt video no matter what the fucking topic is, because he found a thing that works, and he could be like, here's the world record history of shit fart fuck simulator 1974, and I'd be like, oh fuck yeah, I'll be invested. I'll watch this 2-hour-long fucking documentary about speed runs of shit fart fuck Hitler Nazi gay
Right.
people midget wrestling camp.
Right. For we.
For we.
Yeah, that one didn't sell many copies.
Yeah, I definitely see what you mean about like only watching it if you're interested in the game. Summoning Salt, that's a guaranteed watch. Like
Yeah.
no matter what, like it's all gonna be good.
So like if she says found a way to do that, to hook you in, to be like, oh, I really like his storytelling or the flow of his videos.
Yeah.
You know, almost like a BBC documentary, to where it's just like, hi, today we're going to watch this paint dry for 20 hours.
Yeah.
And you're just like 20 hours later and you're like, that was the greatest fucking documentary I ever watched. And you're telling all your friends about it. And they're just like, dude, you watched paint dry for 20 hours. And you're like, but the story, I cried 7
So
times.
artfully done.
Yeah.
Right. I think the disconnect there, I think where the perspective shift a little bit is the content that they're creating is quite different. Because I think both of them are informational more than they're entertaining. I just think that the difference is that what Summoning Salt covers is inherently more interesting because it fits a documentary style.
Right.
Whereas she says content only fits the format, and he does the format well, but it's not the same level of interest or even immersion, we'll say. Where like a Summoning Salt video, you can settle in and like sit and watch it. Where it's like a She Says video, you're like, oh, it's gonna be like 10 minutes long, and if I'm not like a crazy about the game, I'm not gonna be like totally interested in it front to back. And you kind of can't sustain yourself with videos that are like that, unless your videos are inherently more interesting. But I think the niche that he's in is just too tight. You know, I think
he needs to expand.
Exploring out of bounds is very interesting, but it's for such a tight audience already. Where like I would say you're a more casual in that sense, where like you said, you're only going to look at the video if you know the game, if you want to see the environments that you've already explored personally.
Right, yeah.
Whereas like me, since I'm, you know, a designer and stuff, I always like to see that just because that's kind of the stuff you dig into, you know, when you're into that medium or you're into that sort of hobby. So I'll dig into it the same way as a Summoning Salt, but for a different reason than it's just more inherently interesting.
Right.
Oh, it's the big boss dude now.
It's Hopper. That's fucking Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, or is that just a Hopper? guess we'll never
It's
know.
gonna be a dead bitch in a second.
Yeah. Yeah,
Ooh.
that said, I think both of their content's really good, but man, Summoning Salt, a new Summoning Salt episode is like one of the only channel like video releases that I get genuinely excited for. Like, yes, like I'm gonna make myself some popcorn and fucking chill out and watch this, you know?
Did you say Boundary
way
Break
out
or
there.
Summoning Salt?
Summoning Salt.
Oh, okay.
Boundary Break, I think I'm at that point now, as you are, where it's just like I kind of only really want to watch it if I know the game.
Right, yeah.
But before, like when he was like doing Prime content where he was doing all the big stuff that people were interested in, it's like, oh yeah, I'll watch this definitely, because like I could recognize why people wanted to see certain parts of it. Like, you know, I had heard about it, and that's why he covered those games, because they were, you know, popular for that reason. Oh, there you go.
So many Kevin Spacey.
This is level 2, and they're like, let's give a really complicated cave network.
Yeah, labyrinth
Oh my
with
God.
with forced backtracking.
I mean, at the very least, it's a big hallway with spokes.
Yeah, you can't really get too lost in it, but
Right.
it's still just like, okay.
It doesn't help that the FPS is like 4 frames a second.
I will be honest, this very, very quickly took my nostalgia goggles and just whipped them on the floor and just destroyed them. Like, I have no shame admitting, like, I thought this game was the tits when I was a kid. And I thought, like, those your nostalgia goggles, like, give it Unreal Engine 5 graphics in
Yes.
your memory.
Yes.
And then you play it and you're like, ooh.
Absolutely.
Ugh, what the fuck?
Well, it's because our brains were better at filling the gaps, and we're far more objectively minded now. So we see things exactly as they are, right?
Yeah, and then also now you have things to compare them to.
Yeah, right.
I do miss the days of like when I first got the GameCube and I first put in Super Mario Sunshine, I was like, dude, this is it. This is real life.
Yeah.
There is nothing that could possibly humanly look better than this.
And you know what it comes down to? Every time I remember or I recall people saying that, it's always when there's a new level of glossiness to character models.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Because I remember like when like 60 FPS was starting to be a thing and like the first Madden game had it, and they're like, yeah, the graphics are expanded too. And it was just like, yeah, they just updated it to be like shinier and glossier. And then, you know, Sunshine was like that too. And even like Wind Waker in a way was like the lighting system was better and they just had like glossier looking textures.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, you know, and every generation it got glossier and glossier, and that was the benchmark people used for like, oh, this is it, right?
Yeah, and then I feel like at a certain point it became like, how high res can your textures be? And then now, and it's hard to articulate what I'm gonna try to like get across with this. But like, have you seen the trailers for there's like a police body cam footage game that's coming out?
Yes.
Where it was some guy like
It's called Unheard.
Yeah. He was like going into an abandoned building. And when you first see that, you think that like, oh, I'm watching a live action cutscene. And then you find out, no, that's the in-game, in-engine graphics. And I watched it a bunch of times, and you can see that it is a game. You can see where a couple texture seams are visible.
There are certain details that
like you can
out.
see the polygons, like the vertices of like certain models in the game. But I was trying to think of like, well, why does this look so good? I mean, like we've already had games where you have like 4K textures, and I want to say that it like the fisheye lens definitely does help.
Yeah.
But I think it's the way that like Unreal Engine now has the ray tracing. And I think that's really what it ultimately is now, is like ray tracing, because you really get the way that light moves through the atmosphere. And it's not just like, oh, the texture looks good, there's a good reflection on it, and you know there's not like, you can't see that many jagged polygon edges. It's like,
yeah, right.
Oh, like how does the actual atmosphere look? You know, you got your subsurface scattering and shit like that. Like if you're looking in a room, like if I was looking at this cave wall here, it's not going to be crystal clear and perfect focus all the time. Like you're going to see maybe some dust particles floating through the air,
Right.
or like maybe if it's foggy and you can't just you know, games used to cheat with just like fog particles floating through the air, but like now it's like with ray tracing, you can have genuine actual fog particles actually reflecting or emitting certain amounts of light that like the way that like the atmosphere in the real world would do.
Right. Yeah. It's almost like a one-to-one like representation of the blending of Uncanny Valley, right?
Yeah.
Because like when like you said, like when you're in the house and you're watching movement, you can tell like what parts of it is the game. But if you're watching just like the character, or if you're watching one part of it most of the time and your focus isn't drifting away, it's pretty hard to tell. And that's because the ray tracing does such a good job of blending those rough shadows.
Right.
And just the fact that that blend does just enough to where you have to be looking hard for it to see those differences is the big deal, right? That's the big premise of it, of the concept. But I feel like that game in its concept is like the Baldur's Gate of graphics, because that should absolutely not be the standard, because that's not sustainable or affordable for 99% of games. Why it's important to see that now is that all of the techniques that guy used to set that up can be kind of picked apart to get those individual effects for their games. So you're not going whole hog, you're going quarter hog or half hog.
Yeah.
Sub hog.
Yeah, sub hog. Yeah.
Quad hog.
Is it going to be cutting the conversation too short if we ended this game here?
I don't think so.
Okay, fuck this game.